Good evening, Professor. My name is Rimsha Batul, and here is my lab 5. So for this lab 5, we are required to make a JavaFX project, which will connect to our database that would be on Oracle SQL Developer or MySQL. So I use MySQL for this project, and you can see here that how I connected to my SQL. So my localhost is 3306 and my Sigma name for the database is Java project. My username is root and the password is password. Now you can also see I have used these methods which is insert game data. So you can also see these expressions. So for insert data, so I have the game ID, game title, and I have another method which is called as interest player data, which will in I'm sorry, did I do anything? Oh, I'm sorry. So which will so yeah, there you go. So it will insert data to my player, and you can see here is my updated. So this is the function where I will update my player data and insert player and game data. So this is my game class. Here you can see I have game ID and game title. Let's go to the SQL, and now you can see for game I have game ID and game title. So you can see this is how I'm getting my game ID, and this is a setter for game ID. This is getter for game title and a setter for game title. Now let's go to the my another class, which is player class. Here I have player ID, first name, last name, address, postal code, province, and phone number. And now you can see my getters for these and my setters. So if I go to my SQL and select my table, which is known as player, you can see it has the same column names. Now let's go to my another class, which is player and game. So it will contain it will contain my data from class game and table game, also data from player class and table player. So you can see this is actually here are getter and setter for each of them. I'll go back to my SQL and select here. There you go. So now this player and game have a foreign key, which is game ID and player ID from game and player tables. So move to my form, which is main class and extended with applications. You can see the message dialog. Here are the alerts. So if I encountered any error, it will give me an alert. So let's I'm sorry about that. Let's check the game pane for the game class and for player and game pane, and here is player controller. So let me just actually run this. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, now there is one more thing. You can see these buttons, so which is colored as green, and I added the hover of blue color. So for this game pane, here it is my game pane. I have label, game ID, label, game title, also text field for both of them. Also, I have two buttons here. which is one button is to add the game, and also another button is for display the game. So let's check this. So first I want to display here, so you can see my data for games. Now let's add something. Let's suppose I will add the ID 007 and the game title will be like Ludo. I'm sorry. And add this. Let's show that it is inserted. So let's just confirm. So I will go, so you can see the game ID 7 and the title is Ludo. For also here I'll go here and check it if I have it. Here we go, the game ID 7 and the game title is Ludo. Now for the gameplay, sorry, for the player in the game, I have the label player game, another label which is a foreign game ID label, which is game ID. Also another one is the foreign player label ID, which is player ID. Also I have another label which is playing date. Also there is one more label, last label for this player and game, which is score. Also I have two buttons here as well. One button is for add game and another button is for add player and game. So for this let's suppose I have a game and player ID. Let's suppose 567. Let's suppose I'll give before that I want to just display this. Okay, I have it from 5, so I'll give it the name of 6 ID, and let's suppose I'll give this ID number 203. Game ID, oh I'm sorry, game ID will be 123 and 203, and the playing date will be, let's suppose, 2024 0504, and my score will be 90. Here you go, it says it's inserted. Let's just check. So you can see the player and the game ID is 6. And for my SQL, let's go here and check quickly. Here we go, we have an ID which is 6, which is calling my game ID and my player ID, and it's also showed the score and the player date. Now let's move forward to the player ID. So for this plane, I have these two. I have this label which is for player ID, another label, first name, last name, address, postal code, province, and phone number. I have these 3 buttons. One will add, you can see, one will add player, another one will update the player and display the player. So first let's display them. Here you can see. Now add some player here. So I'll give the ID 456, let's suppose, and the name will be Sakina, last name will be Syed, and I will be Longbow, and the postal code L1B5. Oh, okay, that's good, I guess. And Ontario will be my province, and for the phone number, here it is. So now add, so it is inserted. Now if I want, so let's just check if it's inserted. So you can see 456, it's here. And let's suppose now I want to update my player. So for that, I will update the same player. So what I will do, I will just change the address to inside. Also, I will change my last name, which will be Batul, and for the first name I will write. Okay, now let's update it. It says it's updated, so let's check here. So this was my player ID 456. Here we go, 456 Omar Batul, and